This is my third video on function notation. Here's my f of x function, and I want to find the inverse function of that, the inverse, to see what it looks like. Do a bit of working out on the side, so watch. I'm going to make y is equal to 2x plus 7, right? That is just the same as that, except I've got the y on the left hand side. What I'm going to do now is make, at the moment, y is the subject of the formula. Right, there's a separate video for that, making subject of the formula. But now, right now, I want to do x, the subject of the formula. I want that to be on its own. So what I do is get rid of plus 7. Opposite of plus 7 is minus 7. What do we do on this side? Do it on the other side. So you've got y minus 7. 7, take away 7, they cancel out, they knock each other out, you're left with 2x. I want x on its own, remember. So to get rid of times by 2, I divide by 2. Do the same on the other side. So that's going to be y minus 7 over 2. Y minus 7 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1x. Just 1x, it's just x. It looks like they've cancelled. What I then do, okay, remember that's the opposite now, that's the inverse function. So what I now do, see that there? I'm going to copy that over here, but replace the y. Instead of y, I'm going to write x. Because remember, that's a x inside the bracket. So copy that. That will be not y, it will be x minus 7 over 2. Right, that's the inverse function. How this works now. Let's just as an example, let's just say as an example here, x is equal to 3. Replace x with 3. That'll be 2 times 3, add 7. What's that? 2 times 3 is 6, 6 adds 7 is 13. So when the input is 3, the output is 13. Remember that, input 3, output 13, based on this function here. Now, what I'm going to do is, this time, I'm going to replace this one here. I'm going to put 13 in here. I'm going to put the 13 in here and see what happens. Remember, I'm using the inverse function now, but I'm going to put the output of this as an input of this function here. So let's put the 13 in there. Let's take away 7, divide by 2. What's that? 13 take away 7 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Look at that. I started off with this 13 and I ended up with 3. Look, here the input was 3, the output is 13. But here I've made the input 13 and I got the output as 3. Inverse operation, inverse function. I'm going to explain this in a slightly different way. Remember, this is our function, f of x, and that's its inverse function. Remember, that's the original function, 2x plus 7, and its inverse is x minus 7 over 2. Suppose the input is 3. What's the output going to be? 2 times 3 is 6, 6 adds 7, 13. When the input is 3, the output is 13. Now what I'm going to do is take the output of this function and make it the input of the inverse function. Okay, I'll repeat. I'm taking the output of the function and making it the input of its inverse function. Let's see now. Substitute. 13 take away 7 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So what's happened now? The value of the output of this inverse function is the value of the input of the original function. We've already established that this is the inverse function. I'll write it out for you. That's the inverse function. They might ask you to work out something like this. Okay, I think you know what the answer is going to be because we've seen it here already. Anyways, if you get something like this, you need to work out the inverse function, which is what I've just shown you a couple of minutes ago. Then replace the x with 13. 13 take away 7 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. there.